Hey, today we're going to talk about twin flame separation sickness. What are the signs? What are you going through? What is your twin flame going through? What happens when twin flames are in separation? What are the symptoms of this? Why do you feel so bad? Right? Let's talk about that. I'm going to list the signs first, one by one, and then we're going to get into the reasons why these things are happening and what you can do about it. I'm going to give you some clues how to end separation so that not only do you not feel crappy anymore, but also your twin flame, they'll start talking to you again. They'll want to be around you again. So here we go. Here's the signs. Number one, the obsessive thinking, which is the biggest dead giveaway, I should add. No other thing in my life, and probably in yours ever, have I ever experienced this obsessive thinking, and it's so bad that it's like it's happening to you. You know, your mind is going a billion, million, trillion miles an hour, and you cannot turn it off. You cannot. It's just so intense. I can't even describe it with words. And again, like I said, it's like it's happening to you. There's no way to stop the thinking. It's so weird. Oh my God. So that's a big one right there. That's why I did that one first, the obsessive thinking. It's not like you're just like limerence or something, like you're going to go ahead and just be obsessed over somebody and you could stop. No, that's not what we're talking about. It's like this weird disease that takes over your mind. It's so weird. It's so weird. Okay. Number two, acting desperate, right? Acting very, very desperate, like your whole entire world has become this person. You won't stop talking to everybody about it. You're looking everywhere on the internet for information about twin flames, for information about your person. You're checking their social media 20, 30, 40, 50 times a day, literally. Guys, I went through all this stuff myself too, right? And I've got some good news for you. My twin flame is permanently in my life. There's no more running and chasing. But yeah, this happened. And I'm even going to tell you why these things happen. So there's this acting very, very out of sorts. And let's face it, for most of us, for most of you watching, you know, it's usually like between a 4 and 8 week kind of little romance kind of thing. It's not like a long-term serious relationship. Now, for some of you, maybe it was, but I'm talking about the majority of people watching. It's not like a normal breakup where there was actually a history or a relationship first. And the way that you're reacting is not normal either. The way that you're acting is so crazy over a breakup like this. And it's not even, it might not even really be a breakup per se. You might have even just kind of been informally seeing them. And you guys flirted a little bit or something. Like really, like the way that you react is so disproportionate. And you're searching desperately everywhere for answers. Meanwhile, by the way, you're going to be seeing all like different repeating number patterns everywhere. 1111, 144, 222, whatever it is, right? And you might be seeing things that remind you of your twin flame everywhere. You're seeing their name around and stuff like this. And it just always seems to happen in these very serendipitous and synchronistic ways. And there's things about them that seem serendipitous and synchronistic too. You know what I'm talking about. Very strange. Very, very strange. Okay. Okay, the next one. Number 3, I call it the weird energy shit. It's the weird energy shit, right? So for example, it's metaphysical, like kundalini energy. You feel energy. And it actually feels kind of cool. It doesn't hurt. Now, sometimes, I just want to point out, sometimes you might get like heartache in your heart. It like hurts. And I'm not talking about something where you need to go see the doctor. If you've got like a legit, like a health problem, go see a doctor. No, this is like heartache. Have you ever experienced heartache? And it does. It like kind of hurts in your heart chakra. It hurts. And then there's, your solar plexus or sacral chakra. There might be pain there too, like heartache and pain in your belly also, right? Now, it's kind of connected to the weird energy shit, because for the most part, what I'm talking about with the weird energy shit isn't like the painful stuff like in your heart or your solar plexus, but more like the kundalini. You feel this metaphysical energy coursing through your body, and it comes in waves, or it comes all at once. And that is actually very pleasant. You might find it annoying, but most people don't. Most people think it feels really cool. And it's this weird energy that's like coursing through your body, or like I would feel like this energy, like a big rubber band connected to my whole entire body. If you can imagine, like a big elastic band connected to my whole entire torso, like pulling at me and pulling me into the sky. So there's all these weird energies. Usually it's good stuff, like what I'm talking about. It feels kind of cool. And then occasionally there's like the heartache and the pain in the heart and the solar plexus. It's all this weird energy shit. Okay, number 4, Satori. Now, Satori is, what that is the ego mind. It yields, like thinking stops, basically. And energetically, you feel this very deep sense of nirvana and stillness, inner peace, like everything just whoosh, like all the noise in your head. And this tends to happen a little later, but you'll feel this very deep inner peace and stillness. And they call it Satori. I tell people to go watch the Samadhi movie all the time. There's a film on YouTube for free. It's absolutely free. It's only an hour long. It's called Samadhi, Samadhi. Just watch part 1. There's 3 parts, but watch part 1. Don't skip around, or else it won't make sense. Just watch part 1 first. And that's all you really need to watch. And if you've ever experienced Satori, you're going to be able to tell that that's happened to you after you watch this film, Samadhi. And Satori and Samadhi are similar in certain ways. But it's a very, very deep spiritual experience of stillness and nirvana. And I'm using those 2 words on purpose, stillness and nirvana, because if it's happened to you, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Okay, number 5, this knowing that this person is my twin flame, or we're going to be together, or I'm going to see them again at this time, or soon I'll see them. You start getting all of these intuitive hits. And you have this knowing that you're going to be together, or they are your twin flame, or whatever it is. Meanwhile, there's a mental narrative, and you think that it's you. You think that it's you who's saying, oh, I know this information. I just know it. But how do I know that? You question it. Yeah, that's not really you that's questioning it. It's the mind ego. So remember, you are body, mind, soul, and we're going to talk about that in this video. So the knowing is there, which is information, I know my twin flame is coming back, or I know we're going to be together, or I know they are my twin flame. That's information, and it's this knowing. And there's this doubt, thinking, oh, how do I know that? Are you sure? What if I'm wrong about this? Right, those are thoughts. But the weird, eerie knowing is still there. Right. They call that intuition. That's your soul. The thinking comes from the mind. Intuition or knowing comes from the soul. Now remember, let's get into the signs, why they work the way they do and what twin flames are. Remember, twin flames are one soul in two bodies. There's a lot of differing information on the internet about what to do about your twin flame or why you met them. There's lots of different opinions about that, right? But the one thing everybody agrees on across the board, and I mean almost every single person that you see talking about this online, is that what twin flames are is one soul in two bodies. And that's absolutely correct. And I've got a really clever and accurate way to explain this. So everybody already knows about reincarnation, right? Past lives, you're going to reincarnate into a future life too, right? Well, you just have two incarnations of your soul going on right now. That's you and your twin flame. And these are some of your past lives over here, right? 1770, 1880. Now this is your higher self in what they call heaven or the afterlife, which is really the before life. And what this diagram is illustrating is the fact that your higher self, your soul in heaven, is experiencing all of these individual incarnations all at once. Because at that higher dimension, there is no such thing as time. And very interesting, in physics, in actual conventional science, they point out that, yeah, on those higher planes, those higher dimensional planes of existence, like the Higgs field, right? Time is meaningless the higher you go dimensionally. So if you could exist as one of those higher planes, you would experience no time. Well, that's exactly what this is. Heaven, the afterlife, which is really, again, it's really the before life. I call it the energy part of the universe. It's, like dark energy, dark matter. You ever heard of that? Dark energy, dark matter, or the field. And they just discovered the Higgs field. Real science. They're validating this stuff. And I'm not going to go too deeply into this. I've made lots of videos about this. I have professional coaching programs where I teach the science. I'll just say this. Science is just now catching up with spiritualism. This stuff has been known about and taught for thousands of years. Your higher self is experiencing all of your individual incarnations, past, present, and future, all at the same time. So your soul, it knows what's going to happen in the future. That's why you can know a thing like, I'm going to be with my twin flame. And it's this knowing. It's this weird, eerie knowing. It's not mental. It's information. So see, the mind is information too, right? But it's thoughts or emotion. But the soul is consciousness. It's not thought. It's this experiencer. It experiences and you feel the information. It's a knowing, intuition. Whereas information of the mind, you know what that is. You know what thoughts are. And right now, if you're experiencing the obsessive thinking, you kind of can't miss it. So that's all this is. You met another incarnation of your soul, your twin flame. Now, why all the weirdness? Why the obsessive thinking? Why the acting desperate? Why the numbers? Why the Kundalini stuff and all that? Well, it's because this is your awakening. This is your spiritual awakening. So, you're a three-part triune being. body, mind, soul, right? Body, mind, soul. The body, we're pretty clear about what that is. The mind is, again, thought, emotion, metaphysical energy, and it works on a system of duality. Duality. And again, this is nothing new under the sun. These are ancient Zen spiritual teachings. I'm the world's leading twin flame coach, me. I'm the #1 twin flame coach. I've coached 6,000 twin flame students, and I've caused thousands of unions. Now, how did I do it? Well, I'm not really reinventing the wheel, so to speak. We already know this stuff, right? We already know this stuff. And spiritualism and science have a lot in common. A lot in common. Non-duality source, which is consciousness, or a singularity, which is non-relativity in the discipline of science. Well, the mind works on duality. I feel good, I feel bad. I like it, I don't like it. Past, future, concept. Here, there. Me, you, right? Duality, the mind. And by the way, they've always referred to the ego personality, the mind, as separation consciousness. That's actually not a twin flame term. The twin flame community on the internet kind of grabbed a hold of that term, separation, and union too. So separation, union, detaching, right? Those three terms, they grabbed a hold of them and they started playing telephone with them. You know what I'm talking about? Remember that game that they used to play when you were a kid? You played telephone. The teacher, all the kids sit in a big circle, and the teacher says to one kid, they say, jelly donut. And then each kid tells the other kid what they think they said. You got to whisper it so nobody can hear, right? And by the time the message makes it all the way around the circle back to the teacher, it's Pizza Hut. It started out as jelly donut, right? That's just the internet. Everybody's just playing telephone with the original twin flame teachings. And I made a video about this. I won't go too deep into that. If you want to go check it out, it's called Twin Flames, Separation Consciousness, Unity Consciousness, and Detaching. Those words did not come from twin flames. However, the original twin flame teachings, the true twin flame teachings, are derived from ancient Zen spiritualism. And that's really all this is. Your twin flame is your spirit. They are your soul. So separation consciousness is when you derive your sense of self from the mind. The mind, ego, personality, which is a collection of retained thought and emotional patterns that you've been holding on to since you were a child. It's the separate sense of self, the little me, right? This is who I am. And ancient Zen spiritualism, the hallmark of ancient Zen spiritualism is you are not your mind. That's why I'm always telling you guys to read The Power of Now by Eckhart Tolle and meditate, right? You want to get your twin flame back? That's what you got to do. No healing, no clearing your chakras, no balancing your inner feminine and masculine, right? Because the balancing of inner feminine and masculine, while not necessarily a bad thing to do, that is mental stuff. So I'm not saying those things are bad, clearing your chakras, healing, totally fine. That's just not what this journey is. This journey is the single. This is the non-duality of consciousness. So we just talked about the mind and how it's duality and kind of how it functions, and it believes itself to be separate. That's why the mind perceives this other person. There's me and there's them. That makes a we, and we are separate. Separation consciousness. And this comes out of the Tao and ancient Zen spiritualism, right? Not twin flames. Now, unity consciousness, unity consciousness also comes from ancient Zen spiritualism. And that's where you transcend the duality, separation consciousness of the mind, duality. You transcend that and you realize, wait, I am at one with everything. unity consciousness. That's union. And some of you may have even heard on the internet about something called reaching inner union first with your twin. Well, it's not with your twin. Because here's the thing. You literally are them. You already are union right now. You literally are union with your twin. Unity consciousness. You are the soul. They are you, just having another experience in another body. That's really all this is. And it is the mind which is so triggered by everything that they're doing. Now, this is your spiritual awakening. That's why the obsessive thinking and the dark night of the soul and the acting desperate. Think of construction workers coming in with a jackhammer, breaking up your ego mind into little chunks to clear it away. It's your spiritual awakening, your ego death, if you will. And it's just part of the awakening process. This is all about increasing your consciousness. That's why this is happening. So you're not crazy. And by the way, before I go, what of your twin flame? What are they going through? Well, let's be honest about that, guys. They don't seem to be giving a crap, do they? You know, you might be looking all over the internet and people are saying, oh yeah, they're thinking about you. They're getting ready to do the work. They're getting ready to do the healing. And you're sitting here watching that going, they're not doing any of that shit. Yeah, it's true. Your twin flame, they don't really know what's going on. But they don't need to. You're the one who is on this awakening path. Trust me, I've coached 6,000 twin flame students. You don't need to do anything about them. You just need to remember who you really are. You're the soul. And when you do, your twin flame will come back so fast, it'll make your head spin. And they don't even need to know what's going on. But they'll do it. They'll come back. Guys, thank you so much for watching. I hope I've given you something a little different today. Have a wonderful rest of your week.